Hello and welcome to another video from bittech.net and Custom PC. My name's Alex Watson and with me is Joe Martin.
Hi.
And today we're looking at the iPad as a games device. So what we've got is a few videos of some popular iPad games coming up. First up, Plants vs Zombies. I should say it does look a little bit blurry because we weren't able to use the studio video camera, so we just used a little Creative Mino HD. So it's not quite representative of the screen, but you should get a good idea of what the iPad is like as a games machine and kind of how quickly the games and stuff load. So first up, Plants vs Zombies. PopCap, you can see it gets going very quickly. And here is Joe
struggling to recover from one of the levels Clive had been playing.
Yeah, so Plants vs Zombies is kind of a tower defense game, and sort of not really. You kind of what happens in this game, Joe?
Well, zombies come trying to storm your house from the right of the screen.
There they are.
And you have a whole host of mutant plants, walnuts, explosive cherries, and pea shooters, and so on. And you have to lay them out in formation on the left-hand side of the lawn to kind of repel the zombies.
And what's that little sun icon at the top left?
Sun is sun. It's the sunshine that powers the plants.
Okay. So
you collect it when it falls down out of the sky. Or sunflowers and some mushrooms and so on will create it.
Oh, and it's kind of like the money for what you're buying, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So the red lawnmowers you can see on the left are basically your lives, because it's organised on a grid which you can just about see. And the zombies are basically, you get a little bit of a setup phase. So Joe is building sunflowers and mushrooms to try and create some light in order to build his defences. And here come the zombos.
I'm not very good at this game. I should say that in advance. I'd not played this level.
Yeah,
before.
We're not doing these videos to demonstrate how amazing we are at games. Later, you'll get to see me crash a car a lot in real racing. So Plants vs Zombies. This is an actual iPad version of the game, because there is an iPhone version which is very, very good.
And there's also a PC version.
There is. Yes. Is it a Flash game or is it downloadable?
I think it started off as downloadable. I think there is now a version you can play in Flash.
Oh, okay. So Joe's that flashing bomb thing at the top is a potato bomb, which this zombie.
That's a molehill.
A molehill, is it?
Yeah.
Bang. He's dead. So what did you think of this game on the iPad? It's $4.99, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
What did you make of it?
I think it's pretty good. It's just it's slightly more playable on the iPad than it is on the iPhone.
Because I really like the iPhone game.
Yeah, on the iPhone, it's not hard to control at all. It's pretty much identical, except the plants that you lay out, the bar at the top goes along the left-hand side of the screen.
Yeah, because right. But otherwise, it's very similar. It looks to me.
Yes, it's just shrunk down on the iPhone.
Yes, you're in trouble now because you haven't built enough guns. In fact, you haven't built any guns.
Yes, like I said, I'm not very good at this game.
So it seems to me quite well suited to the iPad, because one of the things we found when playing games on it is the iPad is not the best in terms of physical form factor for all types of games. Whereas this seems quite well suited to it.
You're putting big words in there. What you essentially mean is it's heavy.
It is heavy. Yes, it's true. It's 680 grams, which is 3 times the weight of a DSi.
Yeah,
and
why Plants vs Zombies is good is that you don't need to hold the game up, and you don't have to hold it at arm's length, and you don't have to tilt it or anything like that. You can just lay it in your lap and just calmly play it with one hand. Yes,
I mean, although we filmed this in our slightly dungy lab, you could you could easily have it on your lap while you were watching TV, or in the kitchen or something. It would work quite well, I think. And
you'd still probably do better than I am.
It's true, right? Okay. Well, let's put this out of its misery then, and move on to the next game. Okay, so next up, Field Runners for the iPad. This, again, it's another specific iPad version of a game that's pretty well known on the iPhone. And again, I think it's $4.99 compared to...
And it's another kind of tower defense game as
well.
It
is another tower defense game. I thought it was very similar to the iPhone version. The developers have talked about how it's got unique features and this sort of stuff, but to me, it looks virtually identical. You can see it loads fairly quickly, so we're into the game straight away. For those of you who've not played it, basically, these guys are going to appear from the left-hand side, and their aim is to get all the way across to the other side of the field. You can build a variety of different types of weapons to stop them. So here they come. There you go. You can pinch and zoom in and zoom out, which works a bit better on the iPad. On the iPhone, it gets very small if you zoom out.
Are the graphics better than on the iPhone?
They're basically the same. I mean, they're native to the iPad screen, so they're higher resolution, but they're the same.
It's the same pictures, just a little bit more detail.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's a bit more detail. Like you can see there's some sort of butterflies flapping away, and the explosions look a bit better. This is me upgrading my goo towers, which will slow these big guys down. The animations, yeah, there's sort of little touches, but it's really very similar. And I think, if you've played the iPhone version a lot, I don't think you would get anything new out of the iPad one. At the same time, £5 for a game like this, it's not bad value because it's very, very playable because it's got multiple maps, some of which you have to unlock. Some of the maps have different types of weapons on them. And again, as with Plants vs Zombies, it is quite well suited to the iPad because you can just have it resting on your knee. And they've got through my defences. You can just have it resting on your knee, and you're not directly controlling any of the gameplay, so you don't need to be sort of touching the device all the time. So it's kind of quite relaxed, really.
You let some get through there.
I did. So you can see.
I'm not the only person that's rubbish at tower defense games.
Weirdly, I'm actually much better at this on the iPhone. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's the fact it's bigger means it's much harder for you to move, but it doesn't feel like it is. But I am quantifiably better. The interface is really nice. It's so simple. You drag to place. You get money for each guy you kill. You can click on the towers to upgrade them, and it's really addictive. It's a really good game.
I have to say, I don't like field runners that much.
Do you not? Why not?
I just find it so dull. I don't know what it is. The escalation of challenge seems a bit too abrupt for me. At this stage of the game, which we're seeing now, it's kind of just a slow trickle. You know what you're going to do, and then suddenly it will just get really, really hard. It
does, and what you can realise is that you've made a complete mistake of how you've laid your foundations. I mean, to me, I always like SimCity, and Field Runners feels a bit like that. It's the kind of the building that I like about it. I think it's less. I think perhaps Plants vs Zombies is an evolution of the design. It's more action packed. There goes me upgrading. So it's another game that's fairly well suited to the iPad, and I think if you had one, it would be worth the money. And the third game is Real Racing HD. So this is another native iPad game, but there is an iPhone version of it. From Fireman, it's a 3D racing game. You can see my reflection there. I've got to say, actually, although the screen looks really reflective in the video, you don't really notice it when you're gaming.
You're focusing on what's happening in the screen, aren't you?
Yeah, you are. I mean, Real Racing is, to some extent, it's basically the worst game we played, I think, in that it's just not suited to the iPad. I think the problem is that basically you steer. There's a lot of different control methods, but you mainly steer. The sort of the one that works best is steering using the accelerometer. So essentially holding the iPad like the wheel of a car. You can see it looks pretty good. I mean, it's very console-like in its presentation. You get these kind of replay bits at the start. And basically the way it works is it auto-accelerates for you, and then you tap on the screen to brake and move the whole pad left and right to steer. And the reason it's not very good is the iPad's really heavy.
It's also slippery as well. That's the thing I don't like. There's no grip or purchase on the back.
No.
So, and it doesn't get hot. The back of the iPad doesn't get hot.
No, it doesn't.
But it does get warm a little bit as if you play on it for too long. So as it gets warm and you're playing a game and shaking it, your hands get sweaty, and because there's nothing to grip it with, it can slip out your hands sometimes.
I think Real Racing was probably the biggest disappointment for me on the iPad because I thought having the bigger screen would really help, and in some respects, I think it just means that it's quite amazing to have a game because it looks very like this on the iPhone. It's quite amazing to have a game like this on your phone because you're thinking, wow, I've got this 3D racing game with 70 odd events, different cars, different tracks, brilliant. On the iPad, you realise it's pretty easy. I mean, you can see I'm miles ahead of everyone at the moment. It's quite easy, and the driving model, like the actual feel of the cars, it's not very good. The cars don't slip. They don't appear to be able to lose traction.
It doesn't feel as generally impressive. You kind of think with a computer this size, you could achieve more.
That's the thing. On your phone, you're thinking, wow, I've actually got a driving game that's not terrible on my phone. And it's got 3D graphics and everything. Whereas on the iPad, you're thinking this is it's a sort of $500 computer. this is a bit disappointing. If you compare it to something like, say, Ridge Racers on the PSP, there's just no comparison. So this is me tinkering with the brake assist. One of the things that makes the game playable is it does have braking assistance on, and I'm tinkering with it to sort of try and provide a bit more challenge.
A bit too much challenge, I think we're about to find out.
Yes, I now attempt to explore the game's damage system. So yeah, I think this kind of shows up some of the flaws of iPad games, which is that this is a pretty conventionally designed game. It looks like the kind of racing game you'd get on the DS or something. Oh, here we go. And you know what I'm going to do now? Drive round backwards.
Yeah, make it look like you did it deliberately.
But you can see, the crash model, it's like all that happens, you just sort of, the cars just rock around a bit. There's no real sense that they feel just like these big blobs travelling around rather than actual kind of vehicles with real sort of force. So yeah, this was pretty disappointing, I think. And finally, we've got Tap Tap Radiation. So this is an iPad version of a game that's been on the iPhone a lot?
Kind of, yes. The Tap Tap games have been on the iPhone pretty much since the iPhone came out. Originally, it was for jailbroken devices only. But Tap Tap Radiation...
That actually, let me just remember, that's an ad, isn't it?
That's an
losers
ad, yeah.
thing. Whoa. And this is a paid-for app?
No, this is free.
Oh, this is free, okay.
But you can buy songs, but there's a pack of like 30 songs that come with it. But Tap Tap Radiation is a little bit different to the previous games. It used to be that beats of music, it's like Guitar Hero, beats of music fly towards you.
There we go.
And it used to be that the tap zones were on rails, like in the frets on Guitar Hero.
Okay.
But now they're not. Now
they
now
float
got a
around
bigger screen,
on the
they'll
screen.
move around.
So that is a genuine difference between the iPad and iPhone versions then.
Yeah.
So what did you make of the game?
I really like it. It's another one that's kind of, you do need two hands to play it. It's not something you can take out with you and hope to play on the train or anything like that. You need to sit down and have it on a table, really.
Yeah, I was going to say it seems quite well suited to having the iPad just flat on the table.
Yeah. But it's a good game. I like it. It's a shame the song selection in the default free pack doesn't contain any bands you'll ever have heard of.
No, when actually if we have some of the sound mixed into this, it's a fairly kind of
it's a generic
cheesy disco
horrible disco tune, but
yeah. So how much do you know? How much are the songs? Are they very expensive or are they pretty cheap?
They're reasonably priced. You pay a premium for them. I can't remember exactly how much they are, but yeah, they're not going to blow anyone's mind and go, oh my god, that's a rip-off.
Yeah. Okay. So I think another game that appears to use the iPad fairly well because you don't have to hold the whole device the whole time. Even though this is quite direct, the gameplay, you're super involved with it the whole time, unlike Field Runners and Plants vs Zombies.
Yeah, I'm in the zone here.
Look at this. Actually, last night we actually had 3 people playing this, one doing each of the little zones,
and they still couldn't beat my high score of me doing it on my own.
No, it's true.
I'm not rubbish at all games.
No, this is a flawless victory. If you had little, does it have achievements? Some of the iPad games do.
I don't think this one does yet.
Okay, well, that was our look at a few iPad games and how the iPad is for gaming. If you want to check out the full article, it's on bit-tech.net.
Where we look at a lot more games as well.
Yep, that's true.
Minigore HD and
Flight Control.
Yep, so
thanks very much. We'll see you later.
Thanks. Bye.